I'm Katrina Heffernan and I'm a nurse. Everyone knows someone who is a nurse. Nurses work in hospitals, clinics, GP surgeries, nursing homes, residential homes, in your home, in schools. The list is endless. Nurses continued to work during the pandemic. Student nurses also carried on working during the pandemic, in difficult times, caring for the most vulnerable. Their days were filled with uncertainty. Every day had the potential to be exhilarating, energising, fearful, and exhausting. Student nurses see people at their weakest and most vulnerable. They witnessed mothers giving birth on their own, patients taking their last breath, families torn apart. This video captures the stories and experiences of student nurses caring for people during the pandemic. It is a moment in time which will become a moment in history.
I was with a patient who was recovering after a stroke. Her family sent in pictures to help her with her memory and her speech. Pictures of her family and her dog.
When his family started to FaceTime, he got so excited and overwhelmed. The expressions on his face just lit up. He was so happy to be able to see them visually on the iPad and not just hear their voices.
The moment on placement when COVID-19 impacted me the most was when no family members were allowed to visit the hospital, but my patient's relatives dropped some of his belongings to reception. I collected them, and they actually had written their relative a letter, and just reading that letter aloud to him and seeing his reaction was tough and made the reality of it hit home for me.
There was a patient who was really sick and she'd been in hospital for a few weeks and not been able to see her family. She was just really upset and she thought that she would never see them again.
Tháinig Baltrí agus daltaí banaltra le chéile chun cabhair le linn na pandemic seo. Ní dhéanaigh mé dermid an tréamh seo go Joe.
They said that having the nursing care team there was the next best thing because we'd become like a family. Really hit home the work everyone was putting in to make our patients feel relaxed and comfortable in a time of such isolation.
Because of the visitor restrictions in the hospital, all members of our family were not left in together, only 1 or 2 people at a time. They really needed each other the most as a support network.
Visitors were only allowed a half an hour each week, and taking the residents away from their family after that half an hour was just heartbreaking.
Seeing how small things can make all the difference for people. For example, receiving letters or cards from their loved ones who are unable to attend.
Some first-time moms found it difficult going through most of the process by themselves. There was one couple in particular. The father lived an hour and a half from the hospital. He would drive in each day once, if not twice, to wave in the window.
As I looked into his eyes, no words had to be said. There was a stillness within the two of us, a peace we both needed and gave to each other. I gave him company. I'm so grateful I got to hold his hand. I empathised, I connected, and I understood.
I mean, it really re-emphasised to me how student nurses act as a substitute support for the patients, due to their families being unable to be there physically during these hard times.
I spent the lead up to Christmas with a public health nurse, preparing older people that live on their own for Christmas, linking in with services such as Meals on Wheels, ensuring that they had enough food, fuel, groceries. It really struck home to me that I take so much for granted when there are so many older people living on their own.
I love to help and serve people, no matter how hard the time during COVID is.
Student nurses provided a significant input and resource in the pandemic in Ireland as part of the interdisciplinary team in the COVID pandemic at the front line. They showed bravery beyond all knowledge and knowing, and they were all expected really to roll up their sleeves and operate as mature contributors to the bigger and wider problem. So it's so important to record what that felt like from a student perspective, on how then we can have this as a record of the moment in time that we've all just recently been through.
My name is Annette Kennedy and I'm President of the International Council of Nurses, an organisation that represents 27 million nurses worldwide. I think that this is a great initiative, an initiative that I would certainly support, an initiative working with the arts department and working across MTU. And I think that's wonderful. It's a way to reflect on your experiences during COVID-19. I think it's important that you share that with other students who will never know that experience. I am proud. I'm proud to be a nurse. I am proud of what you have done. I'm proud of what the nurses have done all over the world, because without you, we would never get to this stage. We would never curb the pandemic. So I thank you for what you've done. I thank you for the future. I wish you every success.
Student nurses stepped into the breach alongside their health service colleagues during the pandemic. As prepared as they were, their experiences during this time have without doubt been exceptional. Over the years, through engagement with the health system, I've encountered MTU student nurses. On each occasion, I've been equally impressed. This is an important initiative in facilitating them in telling their story.
Dr. Katrina Heffernan applied for and was successful for funding to create a short video entitled Caring During COVID, the Student Nurse Experience. This gathered the thoughts and reflections of 84 undergraduate students from their learnings out on the various wards across the Southwest region during the COVID crisis. They did this to enable the general public to get a sense of their experience, their understanding, and the challenges that they faced while caring for our community during the recent pandemic. They have been a fantastic ambassador for MTU and will continue to do so. I'm sure it's something that they will reflect on in years to come with great pride.
From March 2020 to October 2021, nursing students have been wholeheartedly contributing to caring for others. They have attended placement in hospital and community settings with the aim of providing healthcare in circumstances where they knew that they themselves were at risk of contracting COVID-19. Nursing students shared their experiences of fear and uncertainty, but always within the context of the risk that they themselves were posing to family and friends, and never to themselves. This has been a fundamental test of steadfastness and resilience, and nursing students have unquestionably proven themselves in this endeavour. Thank you to all of them.